I've always been the person who believes in fairy tales, dreams coming true, romance, love stories. I'm all over it. I cry happy tears at happy stories and especially happy endings. I believe that happily ever after is possible. I don't know where I got this belief though, as it certainly wasn't something I was raised with. While at times it would take me back to sadness, wondering if I'd ever get to have my happily ever after myself, it still sustained me. It kept me believing in the power of love, even when unconditional love wasn't something I had any experience with. I believed, even when I was very young, that love would win, that love was the only way, that love was the path to true bliss. Mind you, I had no idea where that path was or how to get to it, but I was always seeking it. What I found, though, in all my seeking is that it is real. It isn't only in fairy tales, and it is already ours. I'm sure you're like, huh? Where? Take off those rose-colored glasses and look around. I get it. But let's talk about it. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Alchemy of Manifestation podcast. I'm Jen Tammy at the Wheelhouse Project, and we are going to talk about how that sweet heart of yours is going to help you create the life of your dreams. When you decide to take human form, to learn and grow as a soul, you agree to the struggles. You sign on for the pain, the heartbreak, and the challenges. And the goal is for you to find your way through it all and back to love. Back to the incredible, unconditional love of your creator that is always there for you in your own heart, but that you forget about when you take human form. So you're left feeling alone and fearful sometimes, perhaps wounded, feeling unworthy, unlovable, even hopeless. But that's part of the journey. The only thing that will bring you back from it all is love. Love really does conquer all. When you choose love over all the negative, you rise. You lift yourself out of the suffering. It's about choosing to love yourself even when all those negative memories and voices in your head challenge you. It's about healing it all and moving forward from a place of love with an open heart. And it's about finding your way back to your divine creator and the love that was there for you all along. Part of the great illusion is that we're all here just playing roles for each other in each lifetime, to challenge each other, to teach each other, or to even lift each other, or maybe even to balance out karma for our soul. We get so lost in the details, though, so personally offended, hurt, and upset by it all. But the more lost in all the pain we get ourselves stuck in a fearful existence. We close down our hearts and don't allow ourselves to live life from that love and that amazing energy of the divine. We talk ourselves out of things. We run from love or cling to people who don't love us. We doubt the divine guidance we get. We don't trust our own intuition. We don't believe we're worthy of better. And we certainly don't say yes when it shows up because we're too fearful of it. We beat ourselves up. We feel insecure. We get hopeless. We get depressed. We get angry at the world. We lash out at or judge others. We shut down. We feel lost and alone. It's not the truth of who we are, though. We are love. We came from love, and we will return to love. What's happening to us here is all an illusion, a school for souls, if you will, to teach us about the contrast of the unconditional love that we're used to show us what pain, suffering, and rejection is like. It's the dark side. Everything that is not of the light and not of love. And during your time here, you can choose to be miserable and live in fear in the dark, or you can go back to the light and choose love. It's really that simple. Now, I know it's not like flipping a switch. Sometimes it's baby steps. But I think if you can find your way to the big picture and look at things as the observer, that's a start. But I also think you need to release all the emotions, all the pain that is stored in your mind and in the energy of your body, because it closes down your heart. You're going to have to start to find that divine love within yourself for yourself and want better for yourself too. The problem is we are stuck in this place of struggle and self-loathing sometimes. We think of ourselves as humans and not of the souls that we are, connected to divine and unconditional love. We end up searching for love outside ourselves, but we are surrounded by other struggling humans, all of whom are in a place of fear and wounding, and who can only give us conditional love, if any love at all. It's about finally turning inward, finding that love in your own heart. That is the great lesson of being human. That being human is only temporary. The pain and struggle is planned so that you can learn and grow. And that the unconditional love you always have and feel as a soul on the other side is always right here for you in your own heart. All the beautiful divine love you could ever need. And you can give it away freely, and you don't need anyone to fill you up. It's always there, an endless well of the most beautiful love you could ever want. Love is the purest, highest, and best feeling you could ever feel. Love is magic. Love is beautiful. Love is bliss. And in fact, you can live in this place all the time. All that amazing love in your own heart can fully sustain you. So why don't you? Well, the problem is we have a lot of fear to overcome to get there. We have so much fear ingrained in us from our families, from our society, and that we've built up in ourselves. We need to find healing and come back to our hearts. Love is never negative, though. Whatever is negative is negative. So if someone hurts you, that is not love. There is nothing bad to be said for love. Only the actions of that person were negative and not in alignment with the love you felt that you thought they felt. But there is no reason to distrust love, to distrust your own heart. Only lessons sometimes to be learned in not following our instincts, our intuition, and our guidance. Or for that matter, not following our old beliefs and feelings of unworthiness into unhealthy relationships. Codependency, manipulation, or abuse are not love. Love is really everything, and anytime we move away from it and towards fear, we mess ourselves up. We get off track, and we aren't living the life we're meant to live. Let me explain. So our divine creator is love. It is the love within our own hearts, and it is, or it should be, the only thing we navigate through life with. It works in conjunction with our divine guidance, too, and our own intuition. It should be that you follow everything that lights up your heart. The problem is, we often let our brains drive, our ego mind, and it rationalizes away everything our heart is leading us to. It gives us every fear-driven reason not to follow our hearts. It reminds us of past pain, it worries us about potential outcomes, and it brings up every old belief and societal value that doesn't serve us or our beautiful hearts. We even let our brains overrun our intuition and divine guidance, and those things are also in alignment with our heart. Mind you, we are human, and we have the ability and the right to do that, but it's really taking us down a potentially dark road. I see this as the cause of most of our suffering, at least as adults. So where does this suffering, fear, and feelings of unworthiness lead us? It can lead us into many messes, misery, and even toxic relationships in our lives. A lot of unhappiness. I've been there in the toxic relationship department when I was married years ago, and let me tell you that it definitely wasn't following my heart. I had warning bells going off like crazy. My intuition was screaming for me to get the heck out of it. I overrode all the divine guidance, all the directives of my heart. It's really about us being guided by our head at that point, by our fears, our old wounds, our unworthiness, and the rationalizing we do with our heart. That is not following your heart, quite to the contrary. When we go off track like this, we're always going against our hearts. It's when we shut down and ignore our hearts. It may feel like love, but it's not. It's very different. And if you think back to when you first got into a toxic relationship like this, you'll probably remember that you were rationalizing it all in your mind, even to yourself. When you can heal and clear out those old wounds, though, and get yourself out of that place of unworthiness, you can open your heart and trust it again, allowing it to guide you on your path as it was always meant to. The fact is, when you're in such a wounded place of unworthiness or feeling unlovable, you stop trusting your heart. You close it down. You energetically disconnect with it and are only listening to your ego mind, which leads you into toxic situations similar to the ones you grew up with. Hopefully, it will all wake you up, though, but it will take you down a dark hole if you let it. So how can we begin to heal our hearts? How can we unearth them from all that pain and the old wounds? Healing our hearts really starts with some self-love and better self-care, loving ourselves enough to want better for ourselves. Mind you, it won't be an overnight love affair where you suddenly treat yourself incredibly. It will be a gradual opening of your heart to yourself as you heal. Finding love for yourself and deeper self-respect. It's about coming back to your divinity, really, though, to unconditional love. So, say, for example, you stuff down all your heartbreak and unworthy feelings with food. It will be a matter of loving yourself enough to want better for yourself and to start to take steps to free yourself from that pattern or addiction. There will be big steps and baby steps with self-love, but it's about starting to find the love in your own heart for yourself, the compassion and patience and understanding to help yourself out from under all that old pain, to take a healing journey too, because these problems don't just go away. Or if we can successfully stop something like an addiction, we still need to dig up the pain that we were covering up with eating or whatever our vice was, or it will come up again. So we concurrently need to find the appropriate support and healers to help us work through it all. But the fact of the matter is, it comes from love. Love of yourself is your only hope here. And of course, your connection to the divine in seeing that you are always unconditionally loved. But you have to find that love within your own heart. And you have to love yourself enough to want better, to reach for better. It's about following your heart, which is divine love. And the divine always wants the best for you. Our human lives can be incredibly difficult journeys. But if we can see them for what they are, a journey of growth that brings us back to our hearts, we can find some peace in all of it. I also like to remind myself that I signed on for this, that all of this is happening for a reason. And it's up to me to remember what I need to learn here. Really, though, it's all meant to bring us back to love. That's always the goal. It's up to me to initiate the healing I need out of love for myself and my divine creator. It's up to me to rise from the ashes of the struggle and open my heart again to the light, to the love, and to the magic of life. Because that's the other part I didn't tell you about yet. When you make it back to the other side, to unconditional love of yourself and your creator, your heart becomes the true magnet. When you live a life from the heart, your heart will attract everything you could ever need or want. An unconditionally loving partner, financial freedom, work, or service to the divine that you're truly passionate about, and everything that lights up your heart. You have always been the creator of your life, but you were creating with fear, with lack mentality, with unworthiness, with unlovability, with old beliefs and wounds. You will never create the life you want when fear is at the wheel. As Elizabeth Gilbert said in her book, Big Magic, in Writing to Fear, she writes, "You're allowed to have a seat. You're allowed to have a voice, but you're not allowed to have a vote, and you're absolutely forbidden to drive." End quote. Fear won't go away completely, but it always needs to take a back seat to love. Because love really is everything. And it starts with you. No one can fix you or love you enough to heal your heart without you loving yourself first. That is your mission. That is your journey as a human, to find that love in your own heart, that beautiful divine love that you never left when you took this human body. It's always been there for you, and it will be your rock, your sustenance, your calm in the midst of the storm. That love will also help you see the divinity in everyone, to have compassion for their struggles and challenges, and the beautiful journey we are all on to come back to our hearts. You will understand that we are not all the fearful, wounded humans that we appear to be, but beautiful souls working to find their way back to the love of their creator, when the memories of that amazing love have all been wiped away. As I am on this journey back to my heart, I find myself seeing things through the eyes of love, of compassion, of kindness, because we will all return to love. But the struggles are real, and so is the pain. And finding your way through the dark isn't easy, but it's worth reaching for the light. Human life in the light is so much brighter, so much more beautiful. It is your divine destiny to get there too. Part of your mission, your purpose. And it will not only change your life in huge ways, but it will change the world. Because a world of people living from the heart, from a place of love, compassion, and understanding, is a world I think we'd all like to live in. Thank you for joining me today. I wish you love on your journey and a life lived from the heart. Please subscribe to the podcast and check out all of our other resources, videos, blogs, and more at thewheelhouseproject.com. Remember to sign up for our email list while you're there. And also check us out at The Wheelhouse Project on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest.